soon as you can make your community feel the absolute benefits of living alongside wildlife, your job will get so much easier. Wildlife and the safari industry has been exceedingly kind to me, as it has to many others. For anybody starting out in this industry, possibly with a depleted area or an area that's still coming on, a few of the points that I've learned, and in many cases I took too long to learn. Number one is win your community over. As soon as you can make your community feel the absolute benefits of living alongside wildlife, your job will get so much easier. Look, you're always going to have a few scallywags within the community that are going to poach around the corner when you're not looking. But on the whole, we've won the hearts and minds over of our community. Probably the most important step was our community meat drop. We're now taking a large quota of wildlife, about 500 head of wildlife a year, including 70 buffalo. We changed our hunting in the swamps to include large articulated amphibious vehicles, so we could recover 100% of every buffalo taken, as well as all the other game. We utilize a little bit of the meat in our own camps, but the balance is all distributed to community. So on a whole, our community gets around 35 to 38 metric tons of fresh meat every season. In layman's terms, that equates to about 10 to 15 pounds of fresh meat per household every week. Strangely enough, that was the most important move we started. We supply a major part of employment for the community. We have close on 100 permanent employees here, including our anti-poaching unit. And seasonally, when we cut the roads, we've chosen to not go the mechanical route. We use labour from the community and will employ another 150 people seasonally to help us open the roads, rebuild the bridges, etc., etc. The last part of our community is the farming side. These guys are all subsistence farmers and poachers if we don't have a good program in place. The method here was predominantly slash and burn. You would go into mature sand forest, often having great big trees of 150 years old. You would cut all the undergrowth, all the smaller trees. You would burn it. That would kill all the big trees, and you would get to plant one crop there, just one crop, before you moved on to the next area. As you can imagine, that's absolutely not sustainable. So we made a deal with our local chiefs and the local community that we would limit the slash and burn to around their homes. I'd supply fertilizer so they could recrop the same areas again. And in addition to that, we have developed a rice farm. It's a little bit over 100 acres. A big pan with the black cotton soils, ideal for rice. We plough it, we supply the fertilizer, our local community do all the planting, maintenance and the harvest. We produce about 4 times what the national average is per acre. So it has enabled our communities to not just supply a basic staple food for their families, it's also enabled them to sell off all the extra rice. And that's been the turning point of us with the deforestation. Along with that, we have a mobile mill that goes from village to village and mills their corn, cassava, anything else that they need to mill. We built a school which was well received, 3 classrooms, 3 teachers' houses and an office. The government mans it with teachers. We support it with stationery and the general maintenance of the school. We have a clinic. Again, the government has 2 nurses that run it, but we do all the maintenance and support for the clinic. The government also has a good program in place where they share 20% of the revenue collected from the concessionaires back with the local community, which they use for their own community projects, schools, roads, wells, water pumps, etc., etc. Another aspect that works very well. So that's it in a nutshell. We had to involve the community to really turn this around. When we really knew that we had turned the corner, a television reporter arrived from Mozambique and interviewed our chief. As you can imagine, one's always a little nervous in case he throws you under the bus for something. But his closing statement to the reporter was, he said, this is the best block in the whole of Mozambique. He said, the people here live alongside nature and benefit from nature, and nobody ever goes to sleep hungry in this block. And I think that's the way we've got to view it. We have to make sure that our local communities feel 100% benefit from being involved here.